Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And what's on tap for today? We've got a reaction video to the March for Life in Washington, D.C., and how we had some thugs, villains, rioters, protesters, whatever you want to call them, from the pro choice movement and what they were doing to harass and intimidate the pro lifers that were there that just wanted to pray to God and just wanted to pray that Roe v. Wade was overturned. We're going to get to all of that, folks. But before we do so, if this is the first time you're tuning in, or if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel because you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. And we here at the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show are absolutely 1,000,000% pro-God, pro-life, pro-USA, pro-democracy, pro-MAGA, pro-Trump. That's what we are. We are absolutely pro-life, pro-Second Amendment, pro-First Amendment, pro-Constitution. We're everything about the greatest country in the history of the world, United States of America. And we are here to give voice to the voiceless, to defend the defenseless. Now, what I'm going to do is play the video. It's all about maybe about a minute and a half, minute and 50 seconds long. I'm going to let it run through, and then I'm going to re-cue it, and then I'm going to give my reaction to it, and then a little thing at the end, okay? So let's get to it. Let's watch the video together. And I'm telling you, folks, this really, really is upsetting when you see what these people are doing to these peaceful, loving protesters. I'm sorry, peaceful. Not the protesters are not peaceful. Okay, those are just villains. But just to the peaceful assembly of the pro-life movement. All right, let's get to it.
Praise Jesus for abortion! Praise only fake white Jesus for abortion! Praise Jesus for abortion! Praise Jesus for abortion! Yeah, abortion's praise Jesus for abortion! Praise Jesus for abortion! Praise your fake fucking Jesus for abortion! Praise your fake white Jesus for abortion!
Jesus Christ, His only Son, our Lord.
Pray for your abortion! Praise Jesus Christ! Praise Jesus Christ for your abortion!
On the third day, He rose again from the dead, ascended into heaven, and is seated at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. From there He will come to judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Amen. For Pope Francis, for into abortion, for all the Catholic bishops, for unity in the Church, for our Supreme Court and our President.
I hear you and I yanked you in the womb. I knew you before you were born. Not very holy of you, not very Christian of you, huh? Not very Christian of you. Not very Christian of you either.
What's not Christian?
All right, we unite our prayers through our bishops, through the Holy Father, to God and the Blessed Mother, along with our patron saints and guardian angels.
You know
Our
not
Father, who
everybody's
art in
Christian,
heaven,
right?
hallowed
You know
be
not
thy name,
everybody
thy
believes in
kingdom.
Okay, let's just go ahead and I'm going to cue this up again, and we're going to go through that again, folks. I mean, you had to watch that. I mean, that was tough to watch. I'm sure it was tough to watch for a lot of you that were out there or whatever. But on the pro-life side, they showed a tremendous amount of restraint. Wouldn't you say? I mean, absolute turning. I mean, how many cheeks did these guys turn? Wow, 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 wow. You have to give them all the credit in the world that they were able to basically sustain their emotions, because I don't know about you folks, but there was a whole different set of emotions, okay, coming on this side of the thing here. I mean, but they kept their emotions in check. All they kept doing was praying. But I just want to go through that video once again and give my take on it. All right, so let's go to it. I'm going to re-cue that up, and we're going to do that right now.
Praise Jesus for abortion! Praise only fake white Jesus for abortion! Praise Jesus for abortion! Praise Jesus for abortion! Yeah, abortion's praise Jesus for.
All right, so as we see here, okay, this lunatic, this loser, this idiotic, moronic, retarded, despicable, evil thug from the pro-choice movement is screaming, obviously, praise Jesus for abortion and all that. And then this pro-lifer comes out here and basically says, abortion is murder. Abortion is murder. Let's continue.
Abortion! Praise Jesus for abortion! Praise your.
And you heard what she's saying, abortion is murder. Abortion is killing babies. I mean, so you had somebody basically, okay, on the emotional side of the pro-life side, basically, just sort of screaming a little bit back to her or giving her back, a reply. So let's continue and see what more. We saw what happens, but let's just continue. I just have to comment on this.
Fucking Jesus for abortion! Praise your fake white Jesus for abortion!
Jesus Christ, His only Son, our Lord.
Pray for your abortion!
I mean, give these people here, give these. As I said before, I'm just amazed. It's absolutely amazing at the restraint they showed. But that's the movement, folks. We don't have to scream and shout. We really don't. We just have to give facts. We just have to give our, we wear our emotions right here in our heart. Our emotions are going towards the children that are being murdered through abortion. Our hearts are for those women that have made that difficult choice and have somehow been told that that's the only choice that they have, and have to abort their children and have killed their children through abortion practices. So that's where our hearts are. And that's where the hearts of these people are lying here too. They're part of the pro-life movement. I mean, they are just full of love. They are emotional, but they're praying in an emotional state, and they're keeping their emotions in check. They're keeping their emotions restrained. They're calm. They're collective. They're only praying to God. And I bet you these people are also praying for this person that's out here, this idiot thug, this protester who has the audacity and the gall. And look, she's got her First Amendment rights to do whatever she wants. But I think there comes a point in time when, you've got to, I think that's got to, stop. I mean, someone's got to come up and say, listen, okay, that's enough. All right. Stop with the yelling, stop with the shouting, stop with, everything, and let these people, leave them in peace.
Praise Jesus Christ! Praise Jesus Christ for your abortion!
We're going so much into heaven and to seat at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. From there you will come to judge the living.
Life always wins. Life is a human right. I can't tell you how unbelievably emotional this is to see these men and women, these boys and girls, these people from pro-life, from all across the country, obviously, coming to march on their knees, praying in spite of the tactics being used. I mean, she is using a whistle, obviously, to try to interrupt them. And you know what? It's not working at all. They just continue to pray and continue to have good thoughts. They're having good thoughts, folks. Not from this side, but certainly from this side over here. Let's continue.
And the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body,
All right, this is cool. So this lady, she comes up from the pro-life side, obviously, and she's trying to block this girl. I'm surprised that someone didn't try to come and, somebody on that side didn't try to, yank the whistle out. But I guess they probably felt people say, let this person continue to make a fool of herself. Let this person continue to show what type of you know, um, a fascist, a fascist that she is, an anarchist that she is, a thug that she is, a villain that she is. Let's just let her continue to let her cook and stew in her own stupidity, her own moronicity, her own, evil aspect of the pro-choice movement. Let's continue.
Francis stands abortion for all the Catholic bishops, for unity in the church, for our Supreme Court and our president.
And if you heard that there, that gentleman who's down there kneeling, he's saying he's praying for the Supreme Court. He's praying for the president. And I didn't hear this, but I'm sure he's probably also praying for this evil thug, villain here, this pro-choice thug anyways. And then look at this guy, okay? He starts to decide to come in, with this sign to try to form a barrier of some kind. So, people are starting to do a little bit here.
Not very holy of you, not very Christian of you, huh?
So she's telling the people that are out there, not very holy of you, not very Christian of you, when she's the one that's doing the things that are unholy, when she's doing the things that are basically unchristian or, inhumane. And, she's got the nerve and the audacity, but that's what happens when you don't have the argument on your side. You lie, you obfuscate, you change the tactics, you use names, you use violence, you use tactics that are just not, that are just not peaceful. That's what you do when you don't have the argument on your side and you can't win the argument. You try to disrupt, and that's exactly what they're trying to do here. Didn't work, but that's what they try.
Not very Christian of you. Not very Christian of you either.
What's not Christian?
All right, we unite our prayers through our bishops, through the Holy Father, to God and the Blessed Mother, along with our patron saints and guardian angels. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be.
So anyways, there you have it, folks. He's finishing up, the Lord's Prayer. And all I can say is that you have your hearts, our minds, everything has to go out, okay, to these peaceful, loving pro-lifers that were there at the March for Life. And as this thug, this villainous, this evil, girl, as she was yelling out and swearing, and she was doing everything that she could to disrupt this peaceful vigil that was basically being shown to, pray to God, to thank God that Roe v. Wade was overturned, to, whatever they were peacefully protesting for everybody, for the souls of the children that have died, of all colors, of all ethnicity, of all backgrounds, that have been killed, over 50, 60 million souls, American citizens that have died because of Roe v. Wade, praying for that. And at the same time praying for this sinner who is basically pro-choice and was doing everything in her power that she could to try to interrupt and disrupt this peaceful, vigil from the pro-life crowd. You have got to give your just, I guess, kudos, thanks, everything to these people that in spite of everything that was being done to them at this point, they stayed calm, they stayed collected, they stayed within their emotions, and they just continue to do what they came to do, which was just march for life and pray that eventually there will be no more abortions, at all in the United States and around the world. And that's all that we can hope for. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. This was one of the videos here. This was a great, great video. I really like doing the reaction to it. Hope you folks enjoyed it as much as we did filming it. And if this is the first time that you've been to the show, or if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel because you've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I was your guest host today. My name is Dr. Nasir. And hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. And I'll leave you with my final thought, folks. And my final thought is so apropos and is so on point because guess what, folks? When you're right. And with pro-life, we are so right. And when you're left, the pro-choice abortion movement, they are so wrong, and we know it. Take care, folks, and stay safe.